G'day everyone and welcome to another episode of Automotive Carnage. Today we're back out bush at the Nissan Cedric station wagon, and today's the day we bring it back from the dead and we get it out of the bush and take it back into town. So, for those of you who may remember, I got tipped off that this Nissan was out here by a good friend of mine. He's actually here today to help me get it out of the dirt. And I've found another mate down in Perth who's just really keen to restore this back to its former glory. So, really looking forward to that. But before we can even get into restoring this thing, we've got to get it out of the dirt. It's been sitting here for God knows how many years. It's still in really good condition. It's probably one of the better bush wrecks I have found out here. And yeah, today we're just going to chuck it on time lapse and we're going to jack it up and see if we can put some wheels on. Let's get to it.
Okay, so Pascal and I only had a couple of hours to get this car up in the air and back into town before we had to start work again for the afternoon. Now, the first thing to happen was one of our jacks there stopped working and would not keep pressure, so the car wouldn't stay in the air safely. So luckily we had the second jack with us and we were able to carry on. Chris, who will be restoring this vehicle when he gets down to Perth, found some donor hubs, which is good because they were missing on the car when we first found it. He packed them with brand new bearings, new grease, and they were just completely assembled, ready to go. It was a huge help. So all I had to do was sand off the spindles and get them on correctly. The wheels were just some 14-inch light truck ones that I found lying around in our yard. Interestingly enough, this vehicle runs 6 stub axles, which I find that quite interesting for an old vehicle, but I guess I just use a bit of the old gear from the post-war era. Now on this side, Chris, please take note that hub I'm currently putting on, well, it's not put on correctly. I couldn't quite get the spindle clean enough and I wasn't able to put it on all the way, so definitely take it off and fix my mistake, but you'll get there. Anyway, that is the front of the car up. Let's move around to the back.
And this is why we do it, guys, to find that one car that we can actually save. This is starting to really come alive and just look awesome now it's on its wheels. Unfortunately, I don't have tyres for all the rims, but that's okay, because we only need to tow it, get it out of the dirt patch, and then we'll load it onto a trailer from there. So I won't be rolling on those for too far. But unfortunately, the rear axle is missing all its stubs, so we won't be able to put a wheel on there, but hopefully we can shoot back into town if we have enough time and find something. But otherwise, it's come alive. What do you reckon?
Yep.
Alright, let's get this back end up. Alright folks, there we have it. The Cedric is on its wheels for the first time in who knows how many years. This is awesome. Well, yeah, pretty much now we just got to hook a strap up to it and we'll tow it out backwards. We'll see how far we can get it. We had to do a bit of a dodgy here. We managed to get the wheel on, but we just got nuts and bolts holding it in, and well, they're not the most well secured, so we won't be going over 10 k's an hour, I don't think. But hey, when you're in the bush, you make do with what you have. So yeah, we're back to U-turn now, strap it up and let's see if we can move this thing. Right, you've got to close your door. Oh, what's going on?
The steering wheel's a bit good.
Oh, it's a bit... Oh yeah, because I found that on this, didn't have a steering wheel.
Good job,
I found it on a Datsun somewhere.
I like it.
Alright,
Over
get you
there.
backwards.
Oh no! DJ!
Yeah?
Steering wheel doesn't fit properly, we need to pack it. We need to pack it, the steering wheel is just spinning. Got a rag? Stop.
Oh, it does not fit on the spines.
No. Got a rag? Yeah, that's looking better. My bad. Let's see. Yep.
Yeah, you got movement down here.
Alright. this time.
Get ready for a job.
Alright, Cuzzy.
So there's its final rest, well, what it thought was its final resting spot. And now, oh mate, this is always a good moment when you can actually get the car out of the bush and get it rolling again. Ah, this thing just looks awesome up on its wheels. I would say rims because it ain't got no tires. Oh, just look at it. She's an awesome nick. It's a long boy, mate. That is huge for a Japanese car anyway. Mate, fantastic. So we're pretty happy with our success. We're going to strap up to the front of the car now and roll her out into town. Well, it was all going so well, but as some of you probably guessed, our little dodgy contraption with our wheel studs and bolts here, well, it failed us. Only one's left of the 3 that we put in there. So we gotta get back to work. Unfortunately, our lunch break is over. I mean, what are you guys doing your lunch break? Well, we just pull cars out of the bush. So we'll come back tomorrow with some proper wheel studs or something a bit stronger and tow it the rest of the way home. But otherwise, it's going mint. All right, boys and girls, do I have a treat for you? Well, I got back to work and started talking to a few mates, and one was like, well, I'll just bring my tilt tray out and help you get the car the way home after work. So here we are, it's about 6:30 at night. You can't quite see in the dark, but it's got an old MAN truck with this fully remote controlled tilt tray on it and slider. It's fantastic. So let's get her up on the truck. Alright, so there it is, all loaded up on the back of the tilt tray. Hope that was a good enough video, and yeah, I'll catch you up when we get into town. Alright, so now that the excitement of actually getting this car out of the bush is done, what is it that we actually have here? Well, it's a 1965 Nissan Cedric, and these things are getting increasingly rare, and a lot of people are telling me, no, it's a Humber, no, it's a Falcon, no, it's all sorts of other vehicles, but no, I can assure you this is a Nissan Cedric, and it is in absolutely great condition. Well, I say great, but you know, it's great for a bush wreck. The panels are straight, we can't find any bog work. The only major dents is this one here in the rear quarter. Obviously the petrol flap's a bit bent, and we've got a couple of dents up in the driver's side fender here. But everywhere else, this car is straight. And the worst of the rust, well, that's back around this side. We're going to need new tail lights. Obviously all the glass is gone. The glass is always gone in the cars that we find out here. But the worst of the rust is down here. Alright, so this is it. So we start here in the passenger side front wheel well, and we've got a nice little hole here. That's solid, and then we go down into the sill here. Hopefully you can see it. There we go. And that's pretty much holy all the way along right down to the end. But the rest of the floors, they are in impeccably great condition. Considering this thing's been sitting on the dirt for a good part of a decade or more, it's actually really straight. It's amazing. As for the chrome work, most of it is there. The front window here is a bit bent, but that's okay. All down the side here around the windows, that's all intact, salvageable condition. All the handles are there, all the doors open. All the doors do open. The bottom of the doors, well, they're in good condition as well. And as for the interior, well, most of it's here. It will need to be reupholstered, obviously. I mean, it has been sitting outside for quite a few years. But all the seats are here. The third row does move. It needs a good bit of CRC and all this crap to be cleared off. But otherwise, it does want to move. Again, there's a little bit of rust down in the spare wear well, but not much to be concerned about. Pretty easy fix there. As for the dash, we are missing quite a few essentials here. Obviously, the clusters are gone and the radio surrounds and all that. That's not the factory steering wheel, that's off a later model Datsun that I found out in the bush. And that there is the worst of the rust in the floor just there. Oh, and a bit of a spider web there. But otherwise, you know, she's pretty tidy in there for a bush rig. And then as for the party piece under the bonnet here, we have the original, we have the original Nissan H engine, 1.9 litre, 4-cylinder. I dare say the valve cover's been missing for that long that it's all going to be seized up, so that's going to need a full rebuild as well. Master cylinders are missing, I've just noticed. Batteries missing, obviously, starter motor, a few other bits and pieces, but overall there's enough there to get going on a bit of a rebuild. Again, sills, panels, everything in here is impeccably rust free for a vehicle that's been sitting out in the elements for so long. And if we look underneath, I think I found the reason that this car was parked up. You see that bit of metal right there? Well, that is the sump. If we stick a camera right up in there, you can see the oil pickup. Now, I dare say that something has snapped inside and tried escaping out the sump. And then the owner's just cut his way in, folded the sump back to try figure out what's going on in there, rendering that engine pretty much useless until that gets repaired. So there you have it. It's another 1965 Cedric on the way to being restored. It's going to be a long journey for Chris to get this thing back up to a running and driving state, but if anyone can do it, I know he can. His record of fixing old Japanese cars is just impeccable. It's really cool what he's done. So I've really enjoyed this. I love finding these wrecks and then pulling them out and actually giving them a new lease on life, whether it be as a bush car like my Cressida is going to be, or whether it's going to be a full restoration like this Cedric. If you like these kind of videos, let me know, chuck a comment down below. And also I have a revival plan. So I found a vehicle that actually has enough of the engine left and other components that we can get running and driving out in the bush. That's going to be really fun. I have to get a few bits and pieces though that it's missing, and once I get all that together, we'll go out and we'll save a car and drive it out of the bush, not just tow it out like this one. Anyway, we'll catch you guys on the next episode. See you later.